live stream going. Welcome back, everyone. We have another live stream happening right now with getting our title up with Battle of Machina, my game jam entry for the GameDev.Js. So let's go ahead and see what we're working with. Alright, there's comments. Just in case anyone watching happens to leave a comment. But all right. Okay. Let's see. So today I'm not going to do as much talking. It's going to be more so just doing things since my son is taking a nap. But I need to get. I don't hear the music. Let's see. All right. How do we get music again? Trying to remember how I did it, because I did get it working the other day. But now I can't seem to figure it out again. Let's see. How did I do it? How did I do it? Oops. Okay, screen share. Entire screen. Okay, we're back there. All right. Comments. Okay, let's see. We can hide that. Well, while I'm thinking about it, we'll just go through. I've filled out a really nice to-do list for myself with some notes. We got the way the player is going to move. So we got the player here, and basically it's going to move in 4 different directions. The 4 main directions: north, south, east, west. We will go through and, you know what, let's just go ahead and we'll script that out right now while I'm talking about it, because that'll be pretty easy while I think about how I need to get the music to play. So currently right now I do have a player UI canvas on my player, and using this camera script I'm able to manipulate the different elements on there. Right now I just have one element that is displaying the player text. We'll just change that just to player. And add input method for player name. So essentially what I want to do here is put in a variable that the player can add their own name rather than come in, oh, well, no, JK, it's going to be Oz. That's the main character's name anyway. So JK, we're not going to do that. So we got Oz there. Save that. This way you can kind of see. Start, and it should pop up with Oz in the main window. All right, it's popping up. There we go. See, Oz is there. Got a player in the middle here. Right now, you can kind of see the screen with in terms of the arena. The smaller box here, that's the camera that you see with the player. And this bigger box is basically the whole of the city of Junkyard. So I just did a little gradient just so I can get a feel for the player moving. So back to what we were doing. Let's go ahead and get our player to move. So we'll do variable speed, float, and we'll do it as 1 for right now. Go into our first import iron system input. Pretty sure that's right. Let's pull the APIs. I always like to have the APIs available just in case I need to reference anything. So input, yeah, iron system is what we're looking at. So iron system input. All right. Go into our update method. And if input get keyboard down, and we'll do left. Trace left. Else if. All right, right. Copy that. Then up, down. Copy that. And I always like to try putting traces first, just so I'm able to see that everything is working properly. All right, so put that down, save. Definitely working with armor, you want to save every chance you get. All right. All right, I think we're back. Can everyone hear me? Anyone that's there? Can you hear me? If anyone is out there and you're in the chat, just send a chat over. Let me know that we are back. Let's see, are we back? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Well, I don't imagine anyone is watching, but give me 1 second. I need to get my daughter some cereal. So let me put a little pause real quick. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. But when your daughter calls, you listen. All the fathers out there that are watching know, and those that aren't fathers and you want to become one, you'll know eventually. But let's get back to what we are doing. All right, so right now we are checking out to make sure our player is moving. Let's see. All right, so let's see if the player is moving. There we go. You can see the player is moving. Somewhat slow, that's all right. But the main idea is seeing the player move. All right. The other thing, let's see, right here. All right. Let's kick it up to 10 and see how that looks. All right, so obviously the player should be quite faster. Let's see now. There. That feels a little better. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. What we're going to do is I am going to create a prop variable speed float equals, started at 10. All right, do that. So essentially what this at prop does, it's going to create a variable that we'll see in Blender. So let's see if we hit refresh. Now we created a trait property through our script And now I can just adjust the value here. This way I don't have to keep going back into my script here. Leave it at 0. Close that. And hit refresh. So now I can just adjust my value of speed here, because it's a float, and just go through and figure out what's a good speed for the player to walk around the game world. Let's open up the game again, so a little bit slower. And then you can see it's only going to go in 4 directions. Even if I press multiple keys together, it's only going to go in one direction. All right, perfect. Let's see, let's try 2.5. Excuse me. Let's see how 2.5 feels. Because obviously he's walking, and maybe, let's see, I think maybe a running animation. So that would be in the world, walking in the world, and maybe in the battle arena as well. This would be world and battle. So like maybe battle during attacks. Okay. Save that. All right. What happened? Let's check it out. So 2.5 speed now. Yeah, that feels better. That's not too fast, not too slow. Okay. Well, I'm certainly doing a whole lot of talking today, but that is quite alright because my son is still asleep and my daughter is busy watching Bluey. Okay, so let's see. What is next? So we got that, so we can take that away. You create an action button and the interact button, and then the special. All right. So Z, X, and C. The main reason for these 3 buttons is since I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard, it just makes sense to have those 3 keys for the player's left hand while the arrow keys is being used by the player's right hand. And then the reason why we'll say I don't do like ASD or QWE or 1, 2, 3, ZXC is the keys for Dungeon Fighter Online, which is my favorite MMORPG of all time. I always find myself going back to that anytime I want to do some beat 'em up brawling. Dungeon Fighter Online is definitely that game for me. But we can go back into our script. All right, so we got more here. So we'll do if input get keyboard down. And then Z. And for right now, I just need to trace it or console log it. And then we'll do another else if, because you can't be able to attack and defend at the same time. All right, and then C. Don't forget them quotes. Then we close that for right now. And let's start the game again and see what happens. Players moving, and then Z, perfect, X, and C. So you can see in my terminal window, the keys are working. And let me just make sure we don't have any. We got engine. So currently the engine I'm using is called Armory 3D. It's a engine that makes Blender become a game engine. So we can go into preferences, add-ons, and you can see here Armory, so 3D game engine for Blender. So from my understanding, it's primarily used for 3D, but it's capable of doing 2D, which is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do a 2D RPG type of game, so that's why we're using Blender, and I'm trying to use everything in Blender. So right now I have my game scene set up here, and then I also have to where I'm making art using grease pencil, and then I import them on a mesh plane into the game scene. So that's kind of what you're seeing right there. That's what we're working with right now, and yeah. So that's the game engine. If you wanted to give it a shot, you can go over to Armory. You can look up Armory 3D. Armory 3D. And you can download the files, and you just gotta put it as an add-on and direct it to Blender and all that. Yes, you can definitely export as a web game. If we go down, see, so when we render, there's a number of different ways to render. So when we do render it, see, you got different targets that you can do. So you got HTML, Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android. So you have the capability of doing all that. I mean, you can actually, in the runtime window, if we wanted to, I could change it over to browser, so that way it pops up into the browser. So that way it does definitely publish for HTML. Let's see if it'll actually. There we go. So you can see it there. It's in the browser. Even though you don't have the player moving. Well, we gotta figure out that bug, but either way, it's able to go into the browser. And yeah, with doing mobile, you have a few extra steps that you have to go through. Right now, obviously, I'm just working on a web game for this game jam, and yeah, so we'll just put that back to save it. Well, now I want to make sure that it does move. Let's try it one more time, just to make sure. But I definitely appreciate the questions. I mean, so normally I do use the default game engine, but for some reason this year I really wanted to give a shot for Armory because I've tried it in the past and it didn't fare out so well. But I wanted to give it another shot to see if it would actually work. And so far, it's been doing a pretty decent job until, of course, I've gotten to this browser. For some reason, it does not want to move. Check out Chrome again. So Chrome does the separate game window for that executable. Let me just make sure at least the player is moving. And just have to figure out why it's not moving. Yeah. So for some reason it's not moving in the browser. So I'll have to figure that one out. So we'll put this at the bottom of our list here. Error focused, which is interesting. So wonderful. Oh, encountered our first bug. All right. Player input not registering in browser export. Well, perfect, because that would have been embarrassing if I submitted this game jab as a browser game and it doesn't do anything. But all right, so but right now we do have player controls done. Move this under here. Player. Call that UI animation for the player HUD or heads up display. All right. Let's see what time we have. All right. Well, it looks like for right now, that's about the most I'm going to be able to get done because my son is going to be waking up shortly and don't need you all to be hearing him scream. So we're going to, we've been on for a half hour. That's about as much as I want to be on for right now. Over the weekend, probably not going to get on, probably just make some updates on X on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe do like a screenshot for Saturday and Sunday on what I've been able to get done. So we got a long list to get through. So player controls we are done with. Actually, so let me cut that. Player controls we are done. Technically have movement done, which I've been able to take that out. Let's see, and then battle arena. So do that. So we'll talk more about my combo system that I'm trying to implement. So the battle is going to be turn-based, like normal, like JRPGs, RPGs like Final Fantasy and all that, Dragon Quest. And then one of my favorite titles for the console is a PlayStation game called Legend of Dragoon, and that has a little combo system where you can time attacks to perform a powerful combo. So I definitely want to implement that into this particular entry. So we're gonna see if we can get that done. But that's why you see specials because it's gonna pertain using the C key and the arrow keys. So, but we'll get to there. Actually, let me write that down. So I don't want to forget it. Utilizing the C key along with arrow keys. So it'll allow for some type of movement and attacking at the same time during battle when you have like a endurance meter or something like that, which that's actually a good idea too. Health bar, endurance meter for combos. All right. So for now, that's what we're going to end on. And I'll continue working, obviously, off screen as well. But for right now, there's nothing else that I'm planning on doing. And yeah, try to get some more placeholder art into the world so the player has places to interact with. And let's see. Oh, for those that are new to watching, the theme for the game jam is machines. So that is what we are working on. So machines. My game is essentially what it is. Let's see. So it's going to be humans using robots as like battle weapons, kind of like a Digimon type of deal. And those robots will fight alongside the humans of the world. And my character comes upon a robot that is able to transform and become like battle armor for the character. And that's where the combos come in. And yeah, we got a lot of things to work out and fine tune before hopefully getting the entry in. But yeah, we'll keep on working. Stay tuned for some updates on X, and I will try to live stream again on Monday if I'm able to get my son to sleep. But for that, there's nothing else. So if no one has any comments, then let me see. Anyone? Still got a couple people watching in. So if anyone has any comments or anything, let me know right now, because in a minute we are out. Anything? Anything? Any comments? All right. Well, with that, I hope everyone has a great weekend. For those that are going to be watching in afterwards, yeah, have a great weekend.